Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome again to Eastside Radio and Cast TV. For today's forum we have
News actors, Shanice Ortiz, Shamillion
Okay, now Mr. Rodriguez and the Supervisor of Business, Mr.
I'm Mr. Salim. And thank you all of you for coming and for being part of this. I think for most of them, this is their first time at on Eastside Radio.
Let's have a round of applause for them. Yeah, it's their first time on Eastside Radio. Now for today, since we're towards the end of the year, we want to do this a reflection show. Now, are there any special memories that you want to reflect? Now, for some of you, now, who are the freshmen here? Raise your hand. Okay. Now, is there anything special you want to say about this year, about your experience?
Let's start, with her, I guess. If you want to tell us, how was your first year here at Eastside?
Well, I liked it because I did JROTC. It has a lot of activities that I like. It has a lot of activities that I like, and it's a good experience.
Oh, JROTC. Okay, great.
Tell me, is this the east side of your dreams?
Yeah. I like
Is it?
I like it, yeah.
It's beautiful. Because I know east side and its revolution has evolved over time, right?
Yeah.
And it's not the east side, sometimes that is portrayed outside. It's a very different east side. Did it meet some of your expectations?
Yeah, it did.
It did. What is the best thing? So best thing you like about Eastside is JROTC program? It's a very smart program.
Okay, we'll go down the line. All right. Now, memory could be anything. It could be a special class, was there a special lesson that blew your mind away? Was there anyone who experienced a special lesson? Or outside of school, outside of the classroom? Was there something, maybe some friends that you made, some new group of friends? Okay, anyone else?
Oh, okay. Culinary science.
Culinary science, okay. What was memorable about culinary science?
Like making cookies in school.
Oh, you bake cookies?
What was one item that still sticks in your mind? The thing that you made, that blew your mind away? Cupcakes? Oh, wow.
Okay.
My favorite too, by the way.
Okay, now and we have to be thankful, I guess, in that sense, because, 3 or 4 years ago, that course didn't exist. It's after, going back about 5 years ago, the whole school was a cumulative school. So we had no.
There was no such thing. So you guys have come to Eastside when Eastside is probably at its best.
Yeah.
Am I right? Now, if you ask some of the people, about 4 or 5 years ago when it was all one comprehensive school, it used to be different. Let me put it that way.
My brother used to.
But now,
My brother used to.
he was here 4 or 5 years ago.
More than that.
More than that.
He graduated in 2008.
And how his opinion of Eastside is different from yours?
He didn't say it was that bad, but he liked it. He didn't like it.
Okay.
Do you feel, first of all, do you feel now comfortable, safe at the school?
Yes.
You feel? So be confident about it. You feel safe, comfortable. And I think the people who have been here, they have seen the school becoming very secure. Now, what do you think? The school is pretty secure now, right?
It's becoming more secure. There's a lot of these cops out in the hole.
Yeah, the security is there, but also not only just relying on the cops or the security, the kids are behaving better.
Yeah, a lot.
Isn't that that's I think the main reason is the school is safer than before. Not just because we have more cops here. I think in fact we have fewer cops than before.
Yeah, I think the morale also now just follow up on that. We had a special guest. He's a producer. He's actually a famous producer now. He's producing Uno's Romeo Santos. I've been doing it. Well, he's on tour with him. And he came to Eastside during the 80s. And when he came back here for the radio show, he was surprised. And he says it on one of the shows. He says, my goodness, he says, he is so proud of what we've done here. Because he was expecting maybe chairs flying, which you see on the movie. And it was, totally the opposite. So, he's doing good things. There's been a lot of other people that have come out of Eastside. I myself was a student here. But others that better and bigger things than I have, so it's pretty good. Now for our senior students, now who are the senior students? Raise your hand. Okay, now did you come all 4 years to Eastside? Oh no, what other school were you at before?
I was at school in Jamaica.
Oh, school in Jamaica. Okay, now what I want to ask is, what are your plans after Eastside? Were there anything memorable during your time here? And also, what were your plans after school?
My most memorable moment is lifting with Mr. Scott upstairs.
Lifting weights. Oh, Mr. Scott is like, yeah, he's in shape. Okay.
Did you give him a tough time?
Nah.
No challenge?
See, I'm getting a challenge yesterday, but he's a good gym teacher.
He's a good gym teacher, right?
Cool.
It's a good sport, as I say. It's a good sport, right?
Now, what plans do you have after? Because in 2 weeks.
Yeah, my plans are to go to the Marvel after this school.
Oh, to the Army? Oh, great. Okay.
Have you? Then, if you, I'm surprised. If you want to go to Army, why didn't you join JROTC?
Yeah, I don't really like Gerald.
Or do you like Army?
Yes.
Don't like JROTC?
There's a program in Raiders, there's a program in JRTC, it's called Raiders, and we do a lot of stuff like that they do in the Army, that they train and stuff.
Okay.
We have a competition.
Okay. So that could have been, your warm up.
It's like not all just marching and stuff. They have different stuff.
And I think with the armed services, some people think that if you just join the armed services, you're going to come out with a career. It's what you do after. Am I right? Like, you have to use that to your advantage. If you join the Army, whatever you join, afterwards, however number of years you put in, they give you scholarships. Am I right? And some people don't take advantage of that. They'll say, you know what, I just want to do, 3 or 4 years, and that's it, and I'll try to look for a job. Versus the people that I've seen that have successfully use the armed forces to their benefit. So if you have to serve 3 or 4 years, then make sure afterwards you use whatever it is, the GI Bill, or to get loans for school. You just have to continue. As I think Mr. Salim said before, education is an ongoing thing.
Now, the other thing, anyone, who has seen the ceremony, the celebrations around the most recent HASPA exam, have you seen the celebration here in the school on the day the HASPA? What was the HASPA announced, on May 16th?
I think so.
That's when the results came for the most recent HASPA. Were you here? Did you see the celebration? The noise and all that big crowds, gathered around the day the HASPA was announced?
Yes.
You remember that?
Yeah.
It was great fun.
So what you're trying to say is, did we do better this year on the HESPA results than last year? What do you think?
I think they did better last year than this year.
What do you think?
No, they did better this year than last year. Across the board, district-wide, the district has done consistently since 2009 has been doing better every year in HASPA. But guess what? Are you also a freshman? Okay. You guys, because these guys who have taken HASPA, they have gone through that stress once in 4 years, right? So remember that the HASPA is in the junior year only. So once in 4 years, you have to go to that HASPA marathon, test and all that. 3 hours. But they have made it easy for you guys, the freshmen, all that. They've made it much easier for you. You'll be going through that stress once every year now, okay? It's much easier now than going once every 4 years. Good?
Now,
To like it? Then you'll be going through that test once every year. Okay? But they don't get it.
No, let me ask. Now this year, there were more programs, am I right, Celine?
No?
As far as the Saturday HESPA prep, were there more programs this year versus last year? As far as preparatory?
I think, the amount of preparation that went into HASPA was almost the same that we had last year. But the quality of students who are coming into Eastside as freshmen has improved significantly. That's the thing. That's why the results are getting better. The people who are coming from grade schools, from grammar schools, they come, with a higher level of reading and math as against, in the past. So that's why our school looks better because, you come from better schools now, and you have better commitment to go to college, better commitment to go to excel for some sort of career. And the next thing that you'll be getting at Eastside, and let me, announce that to you, that let's say you're in culinary. At the end of your culinary program, you will get out of this school with a certificate in your hand. And what that certificate would say, that certificate is not just a school diploma. It's a certificate that you can show on your resume to get an employment. So it's not just the transcript that you used to have, then you go to college. It's just like a technology certificate. The technology school upstairs, they would have a certificate that students can use right after high school. They can put on their resume and say, all right, I have, for example, this CCNA or MCSE, the Microsoft certifications. And I know examples right out of high school, a student with that certificate started earning $50,000 a year, right out of high school. You like that kind of party? Right out of high school, with the certificate in your hand, yet you're making $50,000. I like to do that. Same thing will be with culinary. Culinary will also end up in what they call a Pro Star certificate that you can take to any good restaurant, any place of employment, hotel, and they will think, oh man, this person knows a lot about culinary, and they will get a job. And same thing, I think they must be planning something for GRTC also that can, enhance your chances of employability right out of high school. And just imagine if you add college education to that, how much money will you make?
Okay, good. Now to close out the show, now what are any recommendations for next year? What would you like to see Eastside do next year? Anyone has a question? Okay, what would you like to see?
I think that we should have more talent shows and stuff.
Talent show, oh that's
So
good.
that everyone can come together, even not just culinary, but all the academies.
All the academies, good. And that's an important thing. Talent show, what else?
Even though I'm not going to be here next year.
Or you can come see the talent show, okay?
Yeah, I'd like to see more students taking more field trips. Not just seniors, just give a field trip for freshmen, sophomore, juniors.
Okay.
Just to encourage them to do better.
Good, because field trips, the learning experience. There's times that when I'm taking we went to the Bronx Zoo last year, and some of the students had never been out of the house. They were mesmerized. So
Give them a better experience coming to sit in a chair right at the beginning.
exactly. Okay, more field trips. Okay, anyone else?
Better lunch.
Oh, better lunch. Okay, what was wrong with this year's lunch?
The milk is spoiled.
The milk. Okay, all right. So better. All right. Keep that in mind.
The food is small proportions and it's really nasty.
Okay, well, better lunch. Okay, well, to food diversity.
And maybe a faster line system, just having one single line. It's like a whole long line.
Oh, faster line. So okay, maybe a better method. Okay, good. These are recommendations, and it's good. Where students, sometimes you can get together and maybe put in a more formal request, like a form, you know what I mean? And you can maybe write something up, and this is what we would like. Okay. Shabili?
I think the schools can be more clean.
Cleaner. Okay, like a little cleaner. All right, so I guess we'll listen to this, all these recommendations. Don't forget, let's not forget for next year. So maybe next year we'll continue this. We'll form a little committee. We'll take it from there. All right, good. So let's do a big round of applause for you guys. Okay, now here we're going to talk a little about the logo. Now, for my marketing student, you see here, this is DJ Creme's logo. It's unique and simple. So whenever you start seeing it, it becomes a brand. And as he said, what else are you doing besides you?
Well, the whole thing is that you gotta, it has to be uniform. So if you have a business card, put the logo on the business card. Put the logo on the laptop. I have my logo on my controller. I have my logo on my headphones.
Now, let's see this here. You're not his headphones.
Because the way I designed the logo where it can really be turned into any color, any still looks good. I like red, so this is like kind of red. And the logo technically is red. The letters are red, but it looks good in white. You can see like that, it's just the white and black. And I added the Pioneer letters. So you can play around with it, you can make it different shades because of the way it's designed. I used to have a logo that was really fancy, it was like 3D. I couldn't do anything. It was bad. Like I think to put it on a shirt, it would cost me 3 times what this would cost me.
So the main thing is it's the product behind the logo. So no matter what, like look at Nike, it's a little, whatever, a swoosh. But it's the product behind. People start, when they enter the product, they remember when they see,
Yeah, when you're coming up with a logo or your name, you have to kind of like go behind and really look at everything. If you look at Mercedes, like that logo you recognize anywhere. Like that's Mercedes. You don't have to. It doesn't have to say the word Mercedes. If you go brand the logo till it gets to that point, like Nike, you look at Nike, it doesn't have to say Nike. You know that's Nike. There's a lot of money that goes behind it, but you as a DJ, now it's so much easier to promote yourself. There's so many free tools on the internet. Things like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can create your own radio show, as a podcast, and get on iTunes for free. These are things that you can do without having to spend a dime.
Yeah, and honestly, you got
So, it's a good start. And some things you are going to have to, pay for if you want like good quality stuff. Obviously, creating a logo, it does cost some money. And depending on how fancy you want, then the price goes up.
Okay, so now we know the importance of logos, marketing, everything. Everything, is important. Okay, any last questions here? Nature?
Any other words of advice that inspire you to producers?
Yeah, as far as, if you want to get into the industry, there's a couple of things that people obviously see with DJs. They see the party life and everything that's kind of like the fun part of it. It is a business. It is an industry that you have to work. And if you want to get into the industry, definitely educate yourself on all aspects of it so that you're ready. You don't want to get caught out there, somebody trying to take advantage of your services or underpaid, and stuff like that. Visit in the mix if you want to learn. I mean, we're there. The reason we're there is for that, is to help the DJ community grow the correct way. We have payment plans for all our courses. They are reasonably priced out, and learn to use all the tools that are out there. Now with technology being the way it is, there's a lot of free tools. So go out there and look for them. Start building a fan base. You don't have to work on getting on the radio, because now you can be the radio station from home. Start creating your own podcast. That's like, I have a podcast that's 5,000 downloads a week. And that I've had since the podcast first started coming out. It's a free show. You give it to people and it gets you onto iTunes and it tells you how many people download it. So you start creating a fan base of that. I know people say, well, CDs are still a good way to promote yourself. If you create a mix, you can make CDs and promote yourself as that. Try to have the whole aspect of it. Learn music. If you want to be a DJ, you gotta learn music. All kinds of music. Because you're gonna, if you want to be a DJ that only plays dance music, then you're just limited to that market. If you're a DJ that plays Latin music, well, that's a big market. You gotta learn like 6, 7 different genres of music. And every genre has its own style, has its own way to mix. So all those things you have to do. It's all education. It is a fun industry, but you do have to educate yourself a lot.
Yeah, you get whatever you put into it. That's what it is. Now going back to you said about the internet radio, a friend of mine, he created internet radio station, Sabe.com, and I used to be out there, and it was in my garage. And it's funny because now with technology, I would broadcast. My cousin from Puerto Rico, my cousin works at a radio station. So when he came to visit, he said, take me to the radio station. I said, yeah, I'll take you downstairs. This is right here. This is it. He thought I was at a radio station, but it was up from my home.
Yeah.
So, you know, this whole technology has gone from the 80s when I used to do it with wire to what?
Now it's, you can be in your room, you can have a radio station and have people listening to you on a weekly basis, or you can do it live, or you can just pre-record everything and upload it, and then have people download it onto their phone. One of the biggest things that I get is a lot of people use my podcast to work out. So for an hour while they're at the gym, they have already downloaded my show onto their phone, and they use it, you know, but for a whole hour, I'm in somebody's head. You know, my name is running as they're on the, you know, jogging, whatever it is that they're doing. You're listening to me talk, to me promote myself. You're listening to me say, hey, go to my Twitter, or you know, check out my mixes on SoundCloud, all those things. You know, it's in their head for a whole hour. You know, it's that person, when they think of a DJ, more than likely my name's going to come up, because I've already been in their head for an hour, you know, or they follow me on, and I'm there. And when you have Instagram also and Twitter, you got to be very careful, because you have to separate your personal life or your personal thoughts to you as a DJ. So you got to be careful of how much you post, what you post, you know, to not upset anybody, your fans or anything like that. You know, you post funny things, you know, like I don't like Miami Heat, so anything that has to do with LeBron, I like to post. So, you know, but you gotta be careful with certain things that you don't post, you know, because you will upset somebody that is a follower of yours, and you lose that person.
And it's the same as a job.
Yeah.
So, you know, some people, they say, oh yeah, for my family, they're going to college, and it's just, you want to do this and this, and yeah, you know, post a party pics with drinks, you have to tone it down. So
Yeah.
Facebook, the good thing with media is, it's easy to promote yourself, but the bad thing is now anyone can get a picture or video.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to market, and that's also going back to the marketing of, you know, how you dress, how you look, you know, how you want to be, you know, how you want people to see you. You want to be looked at as, like, you know, a street person, as a business person, you know, all the dress, everything has to do with it, and also the environment you're in. I've seen, you know, a lot of kids that, you know, posting pictures with, you know, illegal things, stuff like that. And yeah, so the final word I say is, you know, educate yourself, learn to market yourself as a professional, and the more knowledge you have in the industry, the better it is for you to succeed, and you know, make sure you have discipline, because obviously being in a nightclub every weekend, it will get to you, and you have to learn how to discipline yourself, so that you can, you know, be able to wake up the next morning and do what you have to do, and you know, and continue on.
And as you said, the image, because as a representative of Pioneer Electronics, they don't want to see, you can't post something that's derogatory.
Yeah,
I mean, say, no, you have to uphold the.
yeah, I mean, I have to withhold everything. Like, I can't use anything that's not Pioneer, because it affects the brand. So Pioneer, all has to be Pioneer. You know, I have to, my image as a DJ for the radio station, Univision, they have their laws that they go by as far as what you can do, what you can't do. My brand, which is my DJ Creme brand, and also in the mix, which is the DJ school, I represent that too. So there's a lot of aspects of it where you have to be very careful, because I represent a lot of different, you know, companies. So I'm, you know, just
Sort of work it all.
yeah, great. Keep working hard.
That's it. Okay, cool. Let's give a big round of applause for DJ. Okay, next time, see you next time on Cash Radio, Eastside Radio, and Cash TV.